Welcome to this episode of the Faster Than Lightspeed podcast. I'm your Captain Kenny with my XO.
Wait, did you do did the music already play?
Yeah, the music's playing right now.
Is it still playing?
It's finishing up. Da, da, da.
Maybe I should have
now it's fade out.
Okay.
It's fade out now.
I feel like I should have. Maybe I should have had the headphones on.
You should put on
Can
headphones.
you go replay the music?
No, we're not doing
We're not doing that.
No.
Okay.
With my XO.
Joey.
Okay. Hopefully, I don't know how many new viewers we're ever gonna have.
What do you mean?
Whatever.
We'll get new viewers once we get the website going.
No.
Wait for the website.
All right. Well, let's not talk about that.
What? We need the website, and then then we can get it on Spotify.
So today we are talking about Disney's Jungle Cruise, and what else?
And we're
what
back.
else did we do though?
I watched The Haunted Mansion, and what did
Right.
you watch?
I watched Tomorrowland. So I mean, we're gonna be comparing this movie with other movies based off of Disney park attractions.
And oh boy, I looked it up. There's a lot.
Is there a lot? Okay.
Country Bears.
Oh, yeah. Oh. All right. Let's save that stuff. Let's save it. Oh my gosh, I haven't even seen that.
What you want?
But that's gonna be this whole. But
I like
yeah, Jungle
that.
Cruise came out, which we'll
Yes.
talk about that. That'll be our review. But we didn't think that we would have enough to talk about that movie. At least I didn't. But we'll get into some important and interesting news. So I've got a couple pieces. Do you want to start or should I start?
For news? Oh yeah, you can start. You can
All right.
start. I just want to pull it up.
Well, there was a rumor about the Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness that Captain Carter will appear in it. Which is from the What If series that's coming out. That's Agent Carter, but she got Captain America Super Serum,
It would make sense.
which could be cool. Different way of introducing that
Yeah.
character. Kind of, do you know of, what's her name in that? Is it Ultra Girl? I'm forgetting. There's like another version of Supergirl, right?
Mm-hmm.
That wears the white suit.
Okay.
I can't remember her name though. Yeah, I can't remember that character's name.
That's fine.
But yeah, I mean,
Viewers,
pretty-
you go look up.
how do
who it
you
is.
feel if? I'm guessing it'll probably just be a cameo.
Yeah.
But how would you feel if she became like the new I don't know, if she became like a character in the universe now?
She won't be, but for like a fun cameo to go tie in What If, super fun.
Sure.
That's what I'm worried about the show is like I don't even know if I want to watch all the episodes. Maybe the ones that sound interesting, but every
Okay.
single one.
Well, depending on how long they are. If they're like 20 minutes a piece,
Yeah.
I can go through all those.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to watch the Doctor Strange one.
What do you mean, Doctor Strange one?
There's the one where it's like the zombies. Ooh.
Is that I thought they're all Doctor Strange though. It's just him with the Watcher or whatever doing Doctor Strange stuff.
No, I think I always thought it was just gonna be the Watcher by himself.
I don't know. I don't really know. So do you have other news or should I keep going with mine?
Oh, we can keep trading off. We have a hot release date for Hawkeye.
Right. I think
November.
I saw it. Yeah, November.
It's gonna be fine. Totally fine.
24th, yeah.
I'm not looking for the What If or Eternals. Shang-Chi I am looking forward to, but not as much as Hawkeye.
Okay, could be interesting. I just don't know what it's about. If it's I don't have any preconceptions about it.
Okay.
There's been Black Widow drama,
Yes.
which I'm sure people have heard about Scarlett Johansson suing Disney and Marvel over putting Black Widow on Disney Plus, and that's supposedly a breach in contract.
Mm-hmm.
Disney, I think, has made a statement about it's not really true, and that we're sad to see her go against
Yeah.
pandemic stuff. And it's like okay, I don't know who would be in the right.
I think Disney might be more in the right, but obviously we'll figure it out in court.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make any preconceptions on it.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know. I don't know anything.
People
that's in
are
the
really
contract.
siding with Scarlett Johansson, which is like I don't want to jump to complete assumptions.
I try not to jump to assumptions on it.
Yeah, we're on the same page, but
That's how Johnny Depp gets fired from every job.
Yes. Also, that's a good second part to mine, which is
What?
Amber Heard still in Aquaman 2.
Oh, interesting.
Producers put their foot down and said, "We just think she's best for this movie." Regardless of what the fans say and Johnny Depp
Aquaman 2 is
fans.
still happening, though?
What?
Aquaman 2 is still happening?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure that
Gross.
was still happening.
Yikers, gamers.
Did you... Something from Comic-Con that we didn't cover was Star Trek Prodigy.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch the teaser for that?
No, but I know it says Janeway.
So this is the Janeway show, more or less, yeah. Which, I watched the teaser of it, and it's animated.
Yes.
The animation almost reminds me of, like, somewhere between Borderlands, like the video game, and Star Wars Resistance,
Sure.
almost. It has, like, no human characters. It's all aliens, and all the aliens are ugly. Like, really ugly to me.
Yes.
You know, like, none of them, I don't know. They're just all, like, just not really, I don't like any of the designs for these aliens. They're either, like, rocks, or they're stinking hyena people, or I don't know. There was like one alien that I liked, but it looked like something straight out of Star Wars. It looked like a Nautilin, like what Kit Fisto is. But the one cool part about the trailer was they show this new starship, which is the Protostar, and it's a pretty cool looking ship. But it reminds me a lot of. It almost feels like it. I think it was taken out of Star Trek Online. It looks like, but I don't know if that was also just a real design from Star Trek. From one of the, it was like one of the higher level ships. But it's a cool ship design. And all like the promotion stuff shows Janeway in her Voyager uniform. So,
I'm really happy to see fan favorite Star Trek Captain Janeway.
I don't know.
Come back.
All the comments were like, I got shivers when Janeway's line came on
Yeah.
into the teaser. I'm like, I could care less.
People have really turned, I think, from not really liking Janeway to really, really liking Janeway.
I don't know.
And I'm like, I say this as if I've been here since the very beginning when Voyager was made. But I've always been under that impression where people did not like Janeway at first.
I don't know. I probably should have read about Prodigy, but I don't know.
Who cares? It's a kid show.
Yeah.
It's a kid show, as in it's in Nickelodeon. But then again, Cartoon Network had Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll wow expectations.
They decapitated a lot of people in that show.
Yes, and firing squads, and slavery,
Yeah. Yep.
and also stealing kids,
Yeah.
and much, much more. So we'll see.
So I'm not gonna judge us too much based on that, but it's like some alien kid that definitely seems to be mining dilithium or something, and then finds a ship and is gonna try to escape his servant life. And yeah, to me, I'm just focusing on the alien designs, and none of them really pop out to me. It's just very like, I don't know. It's like a random alien generator almost to me.
I as much as I want more aliens in sci-fi, I think you kind of have to have at least like the main character to be human.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. It feels like this show definitely is taking place far away from the Federation, which I'm okay with that happening. But I don't know. I don't know. Humans are the best.
Humans are the best. That's totally true. We stand on that on this podcast.
Stand by that.
Yes.
Humans are the best. Do you have other news?
Yes, I do. Xbox is doing NPC awards. Okay, which there's somebody from Sea of Thieves there. There's Pravati from The Outer Worlds, and then there's the Free Guy because it's a thing for Free Guy because they're working together.
Okay.
You can probably guess who's winning.
Wait, what's the NPC awards?
Xbox is doing a whole Twitter thing, which is who do you think is gonna win? Who's the best NPC in video games?
Who did you do for Sea of Thieves?
Some merchant trader that I just like, who cares? Why this?
Not Jack Sparrow?
No. I was like, I thought that same thing.
Or was it Duke? It's not Duke, is
Nope,
it?
it's not Duke. I would know Duke. Just some trader on an outpost. A merchant traveler. Merchant.
That's lame.
So lame.
Why wouldn't you do Jack Sparrow?
Yeah, or anybody with a personality.
Because Jack Sparrow is like on your ship and is actually you're doing stuff.
You can probably guess who's winning because it's literally sponsored for Free Guy. So Ryan Reynolds
It's
got it in the
weird.
bag.
I'm trying to think of what would be a better NPC to put up for that.
I don't know. Just don't pick one from Sea of Thieves. Maybe.
Why wouldn't they have done like Skyrim or something?
Yeah.
Do Parthenax.
It was all
something.
kind of newish games.
Okay.
I don't know the other ones though. Those are just the only two that I.
Do Sergeant Johnson.
Yeah, Sergeant Johnson would win.
That'd be pretty good.
I do love Pravati though. Great NPC. Can I say more, or are you out of your list?
I'm out of. Yeah, I've gone through all mine.
Halo footage. I feel like we just talked about this.
Well, it's not even
individually.
Well, it's that whole flight's going on, right? Their
Yes.
Beta test.
That too.
Their closed beta testing is going on, and it's bot lobbies. They're you're only playing against bots in that. Yeah. And I've seen a bit of the footage. I've seen bits of gameplay here and there.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, it looks kind of buggy, as well as.
I haven't seen buggy.
Oh my gosh.
It seems fairly. I saw something where somebody was looking at sprint, and sprinting is like barely faster than just walking.
Yeah.
And I guess you might be able to reload while sprinting. I don't remember.
It's the illusion of sprint.
Right. It was like an illusion of sprint, which to me is weird. But I guess that's a way to satisfy people that don't like sprint. Just make sprint useless. I don't really understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly the AR is really good. I know that I liked it in like Halo 4. I thought the best balance was in like Halo 4.
The AI is so dumb. Sometimes they'll just be jumping around in a circle and like, how's this happening?
Yeah, I've seen people like they'll start off the match, they'll throw a grenade like down a hill, they'll burst off like the whole bot team's shields and just bip, 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 bip with the pistol.
Yeah,
I mean, most of the gunplay in it looks fun.
Yeah. It looks like a fun game, but it has some bugs. Like if you both pick up a weapon at the same time, it duplicates the weapon.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, it's a beta. I don't judge those. I'm judging fundamental things off of betas, and not bugs, because that's a beta.
Yeah, it is.
Have bugs.
It absolutely is. I just like laughing at bugs. That's my thing.
Yeah.
When Cyberpunk 2077 came out, that's all I could look up, was just, yes.
Yeah, you've been going through all the Halo games, right?
I'm going through them.
Yeah.
I want to finish Combat Evolved. I'm playing through Reach again. Almost there.
Okay.
I'm not playing Halo Wars, though. Sorry.
Well, no.
Sorry, Halo Wars
fans.
fans.
Because that's not MCC.
Yes. It's probably going to be, like, referenced, or maybe see a character or two.
Well,
I can look
banished, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, Halo Wars 2 is, like, the most... could tie into this.
Yeah.
Quite
people
a bit.
people like those games. Those games have a cult following.
Yeah, they do.
But more so, the general audience don't really know them.
Right.
So maybe they don't care. Also, some story leaks came out in the Halo Infinite flight, and everybody says it looks promising. What everybody says, I don't know what they are. I'm just saying that general consensus of the people that did look aren't spreading around the rumors and spoilers, but people are just saying it looks very, very promising.
Okay.
Obviously, not much was shown or leaked.
I'm looking forward to this game.
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun.
So much.
All right, and my last one, which is not more so news, but more so maybe a realization by fans.
Okay.
Which is how Loki and Scarlet Witch and the creation of Scarlet Witch were apparently synced together. Did you see that?
This is a little older news. I didn't watch it. I heard about it. Supposedly at was it the 24-minute mark or something like that? They with was it King?
Same sound, same like thunder sound.
It was something with King hitting like the end of his like premonitions, and when Scarlet Witch unlocks her potential, right? Something like that. Which I'm gonna say, due to the nature of time travel.
Yes.
Or the mechanics of it, I don't really think it makes I don't think it would matter, because really that should have been a part of the timeline, right? Unless that was unless Scarlet Witch is being a variant right now and unlocks her potential, which
that would be weird.
Is weird, yeah.
My thing is he's a character from the 31st century. If he wrote time up to a point, why then? It's not even the 31st century yet. right?
I don't know.
That's my thing.
Yeah,
But I think it's a fun idea, fun little thing that fans may have noticed, whether if they're right or not.
Do you think it's coincidence or do you think it's intentional?
I feel like it's complete coincidence.
I think
But Kevin Feige is gonna be like, yes, of course it is, fans. You're right.
Peter Parker was an Iron Man. Too.
Yes, you're right. You guys are really smart, you guys. You guys were on to us, and they're gonna say that like right before Multiverse of Madness.
Sure.
And we're gonna say, yep, sure. I'm sure you thought of that, Kevin Feige. We're on you, Kevin Feige. If you want to come on this podcast and make this announcement, feel free. Okay, our doors are wide open. Whenever we talk about Kevin Feige, let's invite him to the podcast.
Let's invite him. All right, is that it?
It is.
So we watched Jungle Cruise. I have a bit of stats.
Stats.
I have a bit of stats. So it opened with 34 million on its debut weekend. And I also have Disney Plus, which was another $30 million.
Oh, so it's kind of split.
So is that good, though? Is $34 million good?
For this movie? Probably not.
Supposedly it was pretty good.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was at the top of the weekend box office, yeah.
Number 1 movie in the world. I can say that for at least a week. And I don't
maybe.
think it's going to last very long because then they got the Suicide Squad coming.
Right. So...
But they're not going to compete with each other that much, right? Because this is a kids movie.
Right. This is probably more of a kids movie, yeah. So, and then also in prep for this, I watched the movie Tomorrowland with George Clooney.
Mm-hmm.
This movie had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt. You watched
Haunted Mansion with
Haunted
Eddie
Mansion
Murphy.
with Eddie Murphy. And there's a couple similarities I found with it. So I mean, overall, how did you like Jungle Cruise?
I did.
I did not.
Okay, well, first off, I want to do something for the first ever on this podcast, which is let's wait for Jungle Cruise at the end, and then we go into non-spoilers.
No, we're just doing those
non-spoilers.
No. What do you mean?
You want to go jump? You want to jump right into spoilers?
Nobody. Yeah.
You do? I think that we need to this is a movie that we actually need to convince people to watch.
I would say don't watch it, though.
I say you should watch it, though.
Let's just give our ratings right now.
I give it a 1.
I give it a 0.
I say if you want a more silly, fun adventure, this movie's up for you. If you want a good, charismatic duo of Emily Blunt and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing whatever their characters' names are.
That's also my thing. So this is a gripe that I have. I don't really buy them as a grouping.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like them together. It's just them negging each other for
Dude, that's awesome.
For what, an hour and 40 minutes, which I did not enjoy.
I thought it was
just Dwayne Johnson, just him trying to get one over on her.
Yes.
And her, I don't know, figuring it out every time.
If you want to watch an Indiana Jones movie, but instead of Indiana Jones, it
tried to pull from so many things.
It did. I felt like the relationship between Emily Blunt and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was very much of Han Solo and Princess Leia in Empire Strikes Back, which is a high compliment.
No, it was more like they were trying to do Falcon. They were doing a Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes, except there was it was not nearly as good or interesting.
Were they in a romantic relationship though? They seemed like they were just friends, but they really made it seem like it was a romantic.
Then, I mean, at the end, yeah, they kissed, didn't they?
Oh my gosh, they did kiss.
Right, exactly. That's
spoilers, guys. Guess we're doing spoilers.
I think it would have been. I think it would have been slightly better if it was. Oh, we're just good chums now. But then
that would have been better.
It was just weird.
I am not saying it's a perfect movie.
I think effects wise, it was what I was worried. Where it was a ton of green screens.
Absolutely, yeah. I was like, this is Pirates of the Caribbean 5, just all green screens. Can we get some nice, beautiful locations with
just
a real boat,
set pieces? Yeah,
a real jaguar.
Yeah,
because that's always a pet peeve for me. Is when animals are CGI.
Well, that one I can understand at least.
Yes, Captain Marvel, when the stinking cat was CGI, like really, you couldn't have gotten a real cat.
Sure, yeah.
That was. I have to give Captain Marvel a 0 just for that one stupid thing.
Was it because this whole movie's about they're trying to find a healing a tree with leaves that can heal people, right?
Yes. And can break a curse.
And that there was a bunch of conquistadors that killed some natives and were cursed, right?
Yes.
And along the way, they're also being chased by Germans. They're being chased by a German prince in a submarine while they're on their Jungle Cruise boat. One of my gripes about this movie is that they basically burn through all the attraction references in like the first 15 minutes.
Yes.
Basically, like as soon as you meet Dwayne Johnson's character,
they
burn through all the references.
Didn't this movie have an opening credits and an end credits?
It didn't have any end credits.
No, it did.
What do you mean?
It had like Dwayne, like the whole like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and then it showed an image of Dwayne The Rock Johnson as his character.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're not saying end credits scene. You're just saying.
Oh yeah, just
opening credits.
Yes.
I don't remember. I don't really care.
I don't know if it had opening credits. Maybe
that's not what I'm talking about. Though.
The ending definitely.
Why are you trying to change the subject?
What?
I'm talking about how they burn through all the attraction references.
Yes, and I agree.
Yeah, which is also a thing that they did in Tomorrowland, where they had
the World
they
Fair.
basically they go to the World Fair or whatever. You hear the song playing "Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow," which is from Carousel of Progress.
Wait, we're not doing 3 separate movie reviews? You're like...
No, we're comparing.
What?
Yeah, we're comparing.
I want to do dip, dap. And then it's like, we got 3 movie reviews all here.
No, that's not how this is. So, and that was my gripe with Tomorrowland. They just burned through the references like right away. They didn't even keep it up. And here at least they kept with the whole corny joke stuff.
Yes.
Which is a big part of the attraction. You're on a cruise and you're going through like on this river and there's animatronics around.
Mm-hmm.
And your boat pilot is telling a bunch of corny jokes, but they burn through that like all immediately.
Yes.
And they do
all
a
the
couple
same jokes.
other ones.
All the same jokes. I thought the jokes were actually really good. I liked them. I thought they were like, this is totally in line with the ride.
Yeah, but they didn't do them all that much after the first 15 minutes of the movie. He told like 2 or 3, and it's like, all right.
He told a couple.
I don't know. It's just, it could have... I don't know. The action also was... the action was always weird.
I like the
it was
action.
It was all like Emily Blunt's like a martial arts master or something. Or it's just... she's just like having these German guys just pushing them into like cabinets and stuff, or like hitting their heads on baskets.
It's silly.
And Dwayne Johnson's just like a tank that just runs over everybody. It's just like, this is what's going on?
It's a very silly movie.
And then you get into when the conquistadors show up, the German prince unleashes the cursed conquistadors.
Yes.
Which the effects for them, I don't know, the cursed effects for them were weird. Like they were all
it looked worse than Pirates of the Caribbean 3.
They were like all different elements. One was like
honey.
The main one was made of snakes. One was made out of bees, which I thought, and it was like licking his fingers because they were all honey. Yeah. It was just like, what? Another one was made of mud, and one of them was like Groot or something, right? Am I missing one?
No, I think you're right. I mean,
it's like, what are these? How does this work?
You skipped over the part where it's like, where the submarine, you know, and the very, very German guy just pops up like, oi, oi, and just starts firing.
I mean, did you like, what's his name? Is it Paul Giamatti as Mr. Del Neo? He's the guy that basically runs the actual Jungle Cruise company.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti for that role.
That was awesome.
That's my favorite character in the whole movie.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. I really like this movie. All the stuff that you said, I think you were supposed to make fun of the movie. You made me like the movie even more.
No.
If you want a silly adventure with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Emily Blunt.
But even like I don't know. Because, it's just the two of them. And then you also have Emily Blunt's brother tagging along.
Who is the worst character in the movie, in my opinion? He's fine. He doesn't ruin the movie. He was
a bit relatable to me.
Yes.
He was the most relatable.
He's the most sane one. I'm like, does this movie need this character?
Because it's like Emily Blunt's character. What's her motivation? Tell me, like, what was her purpose and motivation?
She wanted to continue her father's work to contribute to the sciences.
I didn't really get much out of that, though. Do you ever see a picture of her dad?
No.
The only real link to her dad is the map that they were using.
Yeah.
Which actually ended up to be more of a link to Dwayne Johnson's character.
And because Dwayne has like 20 of them sitting around.
Well, right. So, and why she want to get this far? You said that, okay, you linked it more to her dad.
Yeah.
In the movie, they don't say that too many times.
No, but
just
they
say
do.
that she was doing, that her dad did it. To me, it sounded more like, oh, it's the good thing to do. This will revolutionize science and garbage.
She was pushing that, but that's just, she's saying that because that's where her father did it. So.
I don't know. It just wasn't interesting to me. Which, I mean, you could argue that Indiana Jones has a similar motivation, where he's doing it because of the historical.
Yes. There may have been a point where they basically just traveled on map.
It was really, yeah. I mean, they would just do these things that were really jarring.
What jarring?
Well, yeah, like they would suddenly we're cutting out to a map. Okay.
That's totally
suddenly,
fine. It totally
when
works.
the native village is getting burned down, suddenly there's guitar riffs going on.
That was awesome. I'm like, I'm playing Halo again. Because in the middle, I was playing ODST, like,
but it's
that
just
time.
like, it was out of nowhere. Nowhere else in that movie was there, like, rock guitar riff music.
There's a rock.
It was just out of nowhere.
Okay, this is a heavy spoiler, but there's a point in the movie where Dwayne was starting to turn into stone. I'm like, and that's why they call him Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And then he just looked at me and he's like, why?
Well, you should have said that's why they call him The Rock and not. I don't know why you went through the whole 3 names. It didn't hit as well.
Do you think I said the joke wrong?
Yeah. If you said that's why they call him The Rock.
So
maybe, yeah.
If you haven't seen this movie yet, do the joke the right way.
Right.
To your friends and family.
So, I mean, one of the big revelations is that Dwayne Johnson's also a cursed conquistador.
Mm-hmm. But a nice one.
Right. And they try to... One thing I give it credit for is that they try to... what is it? Make... they try to make you sympathize with the conquistador leader. By saying, oh, he was trying to get the petal to save her daughter. And then that's also like, oh, the natives maybe were the ones that were annoying.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, or he should have said that I'm trying to get it for my daughter. Just give me one stinking petal to bring to my daughter to save her. They're like, no, no way.
You're right.
I'll keep this arrowhead for ourselves. And then they're like, oh, we'll kill all you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's wild. Just the whole thing. It seemed kind of crazy.
I kind like there's this one part of the movie where it's just like,
and then the Germans are there because it's World War I in the movie, yes. And he's like, I'll rule Germania forever, for eternity. Who I think at the start of the movie I thought he was gonna be interesting. I thought he was going to hire her at some point.
Oh yeah.
But that didn't happen. He just ended up being a Indiana Jones, just a kid's version of an Indiana Jones villain.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
We watched Indiana Jones as a kid, though. Mm-hmm. Indiana Jones works as a kid's film as it does an adult film.
So, but what about Haunted Mansion? Do they keep the attraction references throughout that whole movie?
Yes. Let me bring up my notes for the Haunted Mansion, because let's do a little bit of Haunted Mansion.
Well, I wanted us to compare and contrast.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's more why I wanted to watch these movies for.
It has the longest opening credits I've ever sat through.
Okay.
Of just floating masks and a black screen and then a little bit of dancing. Just constantly cutting back and forth. It's like, this is so long. Okay? And Eddie Murphy in this movie is a realtor who isn't spending enough time with his family.
All right, that's not a trope.
No, it's not. And you know exactly where this is going, which is he's going to want to try to sell the Haunted Mansion.
Is that really a thing?
Yes.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes.
Interesting.
And Eddie Murphy, he's more of a comedy guy. And I remember, whenever I saw him, it just got me flashbacks to high school. Because in one of my classes called World of Business, we had to watch Daddy Daycare.
Oh, really?
Which stars Eddie Murphy.
Nice.
So I'm like, I can just picture this guy having a daycare. Which I thought was really funny.
Did I watch that in that class? I might have watched part of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
And all of his sellers, I just said, This is what I wrote down. I don't remember exactly what they did, but I wrote down his sellers and buyers are the real monsters.
Wow.
Because they're just such a snobby people.
Wow.
Yep. And
I mean, like, what kind of references do they do in that movie other than there's a bunch of ghosts around?
I got them down. So there's the head ball. I don't remember her name.
Okay.
Something with an M. And then she's like main cast, telling Eddie Murphy what to do when they're on the Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
There was the singing heads, singing their tune. You know.
Oh, the busts, yeah.
Yes. They were trying to give him directions and they just didn't respond to him. It's like, okay.
Nice. Okay.
Something that was supposed to be like the Doom buggy, but was more like a chariot with horses. I'm like,
okay.
I know what you're trying to do here.
Well, those are often called a horse and buggy.
Yeah. They did the hung body.
Oh, sure.
And like that's how the opening credits cut.
When they do the elevator or whatever,
Yes.
yeah.
Which is where when the bad guys. Let me talk about this main plot point, which is. So they try to lure in Eddie Murphy. He's like, hey, we want to sell you this house so you can sell it, Eddie Murphy, because you're a realtor. But the reason why they invite him in was because the guy selling the house, the owner of the house, views Eddie Murphy's wife as the reincarnation of his old wife.
Weird.
From like 400 years ago or something.
Why is he live forever though? Is he a ghost?
He is a ghost. Because he was the hung body.
Oh.
That was eventually revealed. So he's the one that killed himself.
Wow.
Because his wife apparently also killed himself. But that reveals not to be true. And the butler actually killed the wife. But that was a fun twist. This movie also features the Grand Negus. So if you listen to our podcast episode on why you should watch Deep Space Nine, you should know who that is.
I don't think they would know.
No. The Grand Negus is a Star Trek character.
But I mean, the actors. I mean, you can also get him. He was in Princess Bride.
Yes. And before they went into the Haunted Mansion, though, bouncing around a little bit, before they even went in and talked to the people, they're like, how are we going to sell this house? There's a big graveyard outside. I'm like, yeah. How are you going to sell this house? You should just leave. Turn around.
But, okay, so I just wanted the attraction references.
You just want the attraction references.
But, okay, so you said they were pretty evenly spread out throughout this movie.
Yes.
Because, yeah, in this one, they do them all right off the bat. They do all the cheesy jokes.
Right away.
Yeah, they do the backside of water, which is a big thing in the ride. Also, a part of the ride is that you're actually going through, like, every jungle in the world. Like, this movie's only in the Amazon, which I guess by nature heavily restricts it. Because in the ride, I think you go through, like, India and the Amazon. I feel like another jungle.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Which leaves open to maybe a sequel.
Is it, though? One of the...
No.
Oh, yeah. I said the reveal that Dwayne Johnson is one of the conquistadors, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very fun twist, by the way. Totally got me off by surprise.
I didn't expect it either. Because at some point they stab him. The guy stabs Dwayne Johnson and he falls down a cliff. He does the whole...
Bounces on 5 things.
Bounce off of 7 things, hit my head on a rock, and I end up in the water. It's like, oh, how are they going to bring him back? Because he should be dead.
Like, they're not killing Dwayne this early.
No, I thought they were going to need to get the pedal to save him or something, but no, he's just immortal.
Yes. And also the headhunters, like, put them to sleep, right? And the cannibals. Well, they said they were cannibals. Who knows if they actually are?
No, they weren't.
Okay.
We knew
from earlier in the movie that was the case because we saw Dwayne, like, setting up things with them.
One of the tourist things. Yeah.
So I was like, well, how do they help you now? They're not helping you now?
I did like that, how the actual Jungle Cruise was just his, like, I don't know, his show that he would put on. But again, that's only in, like, the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Just watch the first 15 minutes when it comes to Disney Plus.
It's just like, I don't know. And then the rest of the movie, you're trying to get a MacGuffin that's just lame and boring. I don't know how you can say that they got it, because it's in the this is World War One. So how can you say that they got it and they did anything with it?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say they got it and they just weren't able to do anything with it. It's like, oh, this is a little pedal that revives people. It's magic, and we can't do anything with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just the whole thing, plot wise, just did not grab me. I liked Tomorrowland better than this movie.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, Tomorrowland at least had cool plot or set pieces. Like the design of Tomorrowland, I thought was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to the Eiffel Tower at some point. All the designs for things were cool.
Real sets and not just CGI everything?
I mean, there was a lot of CGI in it, but I mean, I'm even saying the sets in there were more believable somehow. I think I like those characters a bit more. Just like barely more.
Did you?
Barely. It was like barely more. You know, like George Clooney's character, I like understood to a degree.
Understood.
And that plot was also, it kind of changed your expectations a couple times with, it had the timer until the end of the world. And how they try to solve that was somewhat interesting.
Totally forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, that's the whole plot, is that, and that was the twist, that we made a countdown to the end of the world, which is supposedly also generating the end of the world. Right.
Yeah.
So, and it's got cool retro sci-fi stuff, and it had Agatha. It had Agatha.
Yes.
From there, I found out in there she was a robot. Also, I think it's Peele, Keegan Peele.
Yeah. They had the robot that killed her. Like, she sacrificed herself. Like, I am a bomb. Drop me.
Right. Yeah. Which was.
Which
cool
when
sacrifice.
I remember being a little kid, I was like, oh, really? They're just going to kill her? Good.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly why I thought that as a kid.
But even that, it's like all the cool things were in like the prologue portion.
And maybe the end.
I'm not even sure about the end. The end, it's like, we gotta get Dream, because in Tomorrowland, it's an alternate dimension.
I like
Tomorrowland.
Yes.
Is this world where, I don't know,
Yes.
anybody, like artists and scientists can just do whatever. Which I don't understand how that works at all.
Why not just do that in the real world?
Logistics of that is wild. Like, who runs that? Who delegates resources? It's more of a world where, okay, there's infinite resources and you can just do whatever. You can break the laws of physics however you want. And then at the end, they're like, oh, we gotta get dreamers. And
that sucks.
It was just the people they were selecting was
but
like,
you'd rather watch that than
I was like
Jurassic.
going through like, that person, no, not that person, nope.
Kid from Africa? Isn't there one from Africa?
I don't think so. I remember there was a waitress. I'm like, waitress?
Wait.
That's a dreamer? I don't understand. I don't know.
Hey, Kenny, I'm a dreamer, and I'm a waiter.
Yeah, that's true.
Kenny, why would you choose this over this Jungle Cruise? I remember, I've seen Tomorrowland. You have not seen the Haunted Mansion.
Right. I've seen parts of Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, you saw the worst part, which is the fire dragon comes out of the fireplace and eats the butler.
I saw like the ending of it, yeah. And when the kids were stuck in the suitcase.
Yeah, I'm like, you fit 2 kids in that small suitcase.
Weird.
Really weird.
It's a weird movie. But I mean, so go through that list of attractions. You had a list of movies that they base off of Disney attractions, right?
Yes. These are ones that are only before Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
To be fair, because that's all I
can't think of any after.
Country Bears.
Is that after? Okay.
That was before.
Okay, yeah, go through. So Country Bears, I've never seen.
There's several Country Bear movies.
That was
Next,
before
okay.
my time.
Look.
That was live action. That was
Yes.
horrible.
All right. So inevitably,
That attractions is garbage too, though.
Oh yeah,
That's
it
like
is.
one of the worst like animatronic shows in the parks.
We skip it every year.
I haven't seen that. Well, now you're saying that we go to Disney World every year.
Proof? I didn't say that. So we have. So Country Bears just sucks. Why would you make a movie about Country Bears?
Yeah, wow, because that attraction's garbage too.
Inevitably, though, we are going to be writing. They're going to be writing and directing and making a new attractions movie. And next time, you better watch the Country Bear movies. That's yours.
Is it on Disney Plus? Do you know?
Oh, yeah.
They are? Oh my gosh. No.
And then I'm going to be watching Mission to Mars,
Mission to Mars.
which is, I think, Spaceship Earth. I mean, not Spaceship Earth. What was it? Mission Space?
Mission from Epcot.
Yes. I think that's...
Mission. I've never heard of Mission to Mars.
I haven't either. Maybe it's for a reason. We've heard of Country Bears, but not Mission to Mars.
I remember there was some DVD that we had that would have an advertisement for Country Bears.
Yes.
So I remember seeing that ad millions of times.
Then we got Tower of Terror, which I don't think
Was that
is...
a movie?
It was a movie, but I don't know if it includes anything from the Twilight Zone.
Huh. They had a movie for that?
They're making a new one, as I think we
Right,
said
there's
before
a
in the
new one.
podcast. Maybe I said that.
Okay. I didn't know there was a... Because I know it was initially based off of just a Twilight
This
Zone
is according to Wikipedia.
episode, right?
Just to let you know.
Okay. Because
Then we got Pirates, which is also before this. Which
Pirates, the most successful of any attraction movie.
yes.
Right.
So those, for me, those movies are a hit or miss. 3 of them have been hits.
The Pirates, yeah.
2 of them have been misses. And guess which ones those are? Up to you.
Okay. I mean, but yeah, that's obviously the most successful. In terms of the initial movie, everybody can agree that they like the initial movie for Pirates.
Yeah, that everybody agrees that's the best one.
Yeah. So, and then they obviously try to replicate that with Haunted Mansion, but not nearly.
No, I don't think they even tried. It leaves literally 0 room for the future movies.
Okay.
It's
Well, I don't know if they were trying to
what other Haunted Mansion news
do
do I
that
have?
sort of thing. I'm just talking about they were trying to make a huge hit in terms of another attraction movie.
Yes. Oh, there was one scene that reminded me of Skyrim, because they had to go like in this underground keep thing to go get a key, and literally like they were like graves, like tombs on the wall, and all the skeletons started going up. It's like, oh my gosh. They like just went to Riverwood and trying to get the Ravenclaw, and now they have to fight these skeletons. Very Skyrim-esque, which is
Okay.
very fun.
All right.
And the film, okay, has a 34 and 100 out of 100 on CinemaScore from critics, but a B from the movie watchers, from the audience.
All right.
So maybe give it a watch.
No,
No,
I don't think you should.
I did write down though for my final thoughts is that it's a 2003 masterpiece. Which is what I texted you when you...
So, but compare it with Jungle Cruise. Did you like Haunted Mansion more than Jungle
No.
Cruise? No.
No.
Really?
Yes.
You like Jungle Cruise more?
Yes. Haunted Mansion was neither funny nor scary. It never found its place. There was one... I didn't write this down in my notes. But there was one point where, like, Eddie Murphy was, like, talking to his kid. He's like... Because his kid was afraid of spiders. Alright? Which, you know, brings up later in the movie, whatever.
Okay.
And then he's like, all right, well, in order to kill a spider, because it's in the room before this, you have to go grab a magazine, and he looks at the magazine, and it's like a bikini magazine. And this kid is like 5 years old.
No. It's
Yes, he
75.
is. And I'm like, what are you doing with this magazine? It's like, and the kid says, I don't know. And they just move on.
What?
It was just a weird, just a weird. It's like this kid's 5 or 6 years old.
All right.
Very funny. That was the only funny joke in the movie, and it's funny because it made no sense. Yeah, watch Jungle Cruise, guys. It's a good movie.
No, don't watch Jungle Cruise.
Watch it, guys.
So, what was your score on it again? We'll reiterate. On Jungle
Here.
Cruise?
Oh, Jungle Cruise 1.
And I gave it a 0, so it gets a total score of 1.
Because we watched the movie. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
With a maximum of 3.
I think don't go in expecting a serious adventure.
I didn't go into it with that. I expected... I don't know. I don't know what I expected. I expected some sort of plot and interesting hooks.
It had nice fun twists. You have to admit that. It got you a couple times.
It got me once with something that I don't think made sense in the long run.
What, the Dwayne?
I don't know how he's Spanish as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of...
I'm still trying to understand. So, was he an adopted sort of brother to the conquistador captain?
Something like that, I think.
I did not really understand that part. Because, yeah. I don't know. I didn't really understand it.
Watch the movie.
It just felt like let's get Dwayne Johnson because he's huge. and in terms of size and popularity, let's grab him because he'll do 30 movies a year.
I think, I think too many movies with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Let's get both of Hollywood's sweethearts, Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson.
Yes.
This is what this movie felt like. And we'll tie it on to some sort of Disney attraction.
Yes.
And it didn't fill up to like any of those. I don't know.
I think it was definitely different from the attraction. Like, it does its own thing. And I love giving people high fives for doing more original based stories, which this absolutely was.
Well, I understand because Jungle Cruise doesn't really have a story.
Yes.
It's just you're on a tourist attraction.
Yes. You could argue Pirates of the Caribbean also didn't really have a main story.
It's true, too.
And maybe it didn't reference the ride a whole lot.
I know. Well, right. I mean, in Pirates, if we're doing it off of a good Disney attraction movie.
Yes.
They do a lot of references throughout most of that.
They have the dog. What else?
They have the dog. They do the guy sleeping with the pigs. Mr. Gibbs was that guy.
I guess.
They do... what else? All of Tortuga is basically that. What other... I'm trying to think of things that Pirates references. I mean, you could say all of Isla de Muerto was like a Pirates reference.
Yeah.
And that their enemies, the skeleton pirates... I mean, there's skeleton pirates throughout the ride, right?
Remember, there's no Black Pearl, no Captain Jack Sparrow at that point.
Right, yeah. I mean, character-wise,
Will
Turner.
They never talk about Tortuga, any of the places they went to.
Right.
None of the characters. Like, they did their own thing.
They did a lot of it, sure, yeah.
Yeah. I hope they don't change up Jungle Cruise to be more like the movie, though. Which I don't think you're going to disagree with.
I don't think they could.
They could.
I don't think so.
Maybe give them a retheme and say, like, hey, this is Dwayne The Rock Johnson's sort of thing. Maybe add like a couple of video, like movie screens.
Voiceover on the boats instead of an actual boat driver.
Oh no, you can't get rid of the boat driver. People would freak out.
I don't know.
Does those wheels actually work? Like, could you turn it to land and you crash the boat, or do you think it's just all scripted?
On a rail.
Do you think superior ride like this, Kilimanjaro Safari, is on rails? You think those are real?
No, I'd say that's real driving.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm very sure.
Yeah. We got the lame Jungle Cruise and then the good Kilimanjaro Safari.
Well, they're just different rides.
We don't go to the zoo anymore, but we go on Kilimanjaro Safari, which is better than the zoo.
Nata Zoo.
Yes.
But yeah, it just, I don't know. Just the whole movie I thought was lame.
You say that it doesn't do much with the ride, besides the first like 15 minutes. Does more than Pirates. That's what I say.
Yeah, but Pirates had a good plot.
Ultimately, this movie had a good plot.
No, it didn't.
No,
it didn't. They're going after a tree that just heals people.
Totally fine.
No, it's not. It's so lame.
And in Indiana Jones 2, they look for a bunch of rocks.
Indiana Jones 2, okay. They also had cool sets.
Indiana Jones 4, they also have a crystal skull.
Yeah, but nobody likes that movie.
I like it.
Nobody likes that movie.
I like it because it's like refrigerator.
You're crazy,
mutt.
though.
Got mutt.
You also like Wolverine Origins.
Dude, such a good movie, Wolverine Origins.
So, your opinion on those doesn't count. On some movies don't count.
I didn't talk about this, but did you know, as of filming, this is August 1st, by the way. This is Spider-Man Day.
Okay.
Cool. Fun. Okay, let's move on.
So yeah, Jungle Cruise, boring. Unless you're like, I don't know, crazy into Disney attraction ride movies or whatever.
Yeah. How about we agree with this? Let's find a mutual ground for this movie so we can get... How about you watch this movie when it comes on Disney Plus?
For free? I'm not even sure if you should. I'm not even sure if you waste time unless you like Disney park attraction movies.
But there has been barely any good ones.
Right.
You'd rather watch tomorrow. You're wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
For thinking that.
That's what I'm saying. Tomorrowland wasn't on Disney Plus yet. It was on.
Yeah.
It was on hold. I had to watch it on Blu-ray or whatever that we had.
I saw that you had the disc out, and then I was like, I gotta be honest, I didn't think you were gonna watch this movie. Just for the fans, know, right? You watched Tomorrowland, and I was like, okay, we're moving forward with this idea that I had, which is we're reviewing Jungle Cruise. Then you told me watch Haunted Mansion, and I watched Haunted Mansion, and then I told you that, hey, let's go buy tickets for Jungle Cruise. Like, did you do your homework? It's like, yes, I watched Haunted Mansion, and then you're like, no, now I need to watch Jungle Cruise.
I did text you that.
Yes, which is a funny joke. Because I basically dragged you to see this movie because I actually did my job for the podcast. Almost didn't.
And I'm sad about that.
This was a good movie.
For this, it's not.
Has it aged more, like, better or worse for you? Because it's been, like, a couple days. Like, 4 days.
This movie has aged?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like Black Widow, we kind of waited a bit.
Yeah, the more that I think about this movie, the worse the taste is in my mouth.
How about you? Did you like Emily Blunt's, like, character arc of, I don't like to swim, and then it's like, I have to swim?
No, I thought that was dumb.
I feel like it never even goes to full completion, though.
I thought they were like, oh, let's give this character some type of weakness.
Yes.
And it's like, all right.
They couldn't make her a Mary Sue.
It was fine. But I don't know. There was never any real, like, point where, like, oh, she couldn't do it. And it, like, caused the team to suffer. Like in some other movies would.
Yeah.
And to me, that made, again, it made it not really, it made it a non-factor in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
It just made her scared when she was trapped in the cage underwater, which I think you could have done that if she did know how to swim. Because I'd be thinking freaking out if I was stuck in a cage underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good movie.
I would have been more afraid of alligators in the water or something.
You hate alligators.
I don't like murky water, and knowing that there could be alligators in this water.
Yes.
That's what I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a video on YouTube of a guy kayaking in like some sort of swamp, and an alligator like charges his kayak and flips him over, and he's able to get back up. That's nightmare.
Yes.
That's horrifying.
They're basically the dinosaurs that lived.
Well, no, those are birds, according to Alan Grant.
Oh, come on. Next week we should do Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. We finally watched it.
No, we have to wait until that movie comes out, until the new one comes out.
And then we talk about.
Then we can talk about Jurassic Park and stuff. Yeah.
Is that movie coming out?
Dominion? Yeah. Yeah, they're working on Dominion. Yeah, because supposedly Alan Grant is going to be in it.
I guess if they make the New Mutants, anything can be possible.
All right, do you have anything else to say about our main topic? We're at about 50 minutes now.
Better than Tomorrowland and Haunted Mansion. Not as good as Pirates. Give it a watch.
All right, I would say it sucks.
People like this movie.
All right, so
you're in the minority here.
Upcoming podcast news. So we think that Bad Batch is going to be wrapping up this next week, right?
Yeah.
So we'll probably do a Bad Batch episode. Maybe I'm sure we'll talk about a ton of Star Wars stuff in relation. So yeah, we'll probably do Bad Batch review next week.
Yeah.
Which could be cool.
When is Lower Decks coming out?
That's later this month, I think.
Yes. Maybe after Bad Batch we can do Superman and Lois.
Hopefully that wraps up at some point.
I feel like we've been watching it for over a year.
Feels like forever. Just because they take these like 5-week-long breaks.
This
after every other episode.
Superman and Lois would be far better just to stream when it's all done.
Maybe. That'd be interesting to think about. All right. So should we wrap this up?
No. I wanted this to be a bigger episode.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Fast and Lightspeed podcast. Check us out on Twitter at @Lightspeed. I'll put that in the description. Where I'll be posting news, info. I'll listen to more episodes. This has been your Captain Kenny with my XO, Joey.
We need to add this to Spotify.
And this has been the Faster Than Lightspeed podcast.
We need to make a website